Stephen E. Kuhn. He's a businessman and a war veteran, a recipient of the Bronze Star for bravery in combat in the first Gulf War.
Do you think that Donald Trump was presidential today?
Yes. I think Donald Trump was Donald Trump presidential today.
He talks about eradicating the so-called Islamic State there from the face of the earth. How can he possibly do that without international partners?
He does indeed, and that's why he said we will unite the civilized world against. So he said we will unite the civilized world against the radical Islam. So he actually did mention that. I think it's important that we look at everything he says. What he said speaks to many more in the world than many may imagine.
How on earth is he going to unify this country, Stephen?
One step at a time. We need to look at commonalities. We need to look for things that we have in common and go that route. I think he's set the tempo for that, and I think it's very important that everyone on all sides is open to this, and that one side can't sit there and say, come to me, so we could unite. It's got to be everyone together. That's the only way we're going to function, and that's the best way that America has ever functioned.
What did you take away from President Trump's speech?
Brand, original, authentic.
Who was he talking to? Was he talking to the people who voted for him or the people who also did not vote for him?
He was talking to every American who was listening and those who weren't listening. He was talking to the nation as a whole, as he repeated many a time. And I think it's important that we try not to cherry pick the bad things out and look at the good things, find the commonalities, and let's go forward together. He means it in that way. Everyone knows President Trump as he is, and he was authentic today.
Do you think we have a new president who is honest all the time with the American people?
Yes, I think it's going to be hell-bent hard to find somebody else who's more honest because of many, many factors, because of who he is, because of what he's been through and what got him there.
What does this mean, then, for the Republicans and the Democrats?
I think we saw afterwards on the table where he was signing his nominee sheets there. Both parties were there. Both sides of the aisle were there. They were smiling. They were grabbing for the pens, the inaugural pens, you know?
Yeah.
It was an exciting scene. I think expecting him to be a different person suddenly is unrealistic and also not genuine. I think that's the whole attraction with the Trump supporters, with the movement, is that he's a genuine kind of guy. If you look at the classic disgruntled American who voted for Trump, that's the way they like to describe his movement. Then you have the third of the voters that were actually private voters that said, "Oh, I'm not voting for Trump," but they actually did because
So
they're shamed into not allowed to say I voted for President Trump.
Does it worry you that a lot of his appointments have, in their congressional hearings, have openly disagreed with Trump's positions on things?
No, and exactly that is what is exciting. You know, a good leader surrounds himself with people who are good in the single positions that they are in charge of. And President Trump will remain the generalist.
What about the respect of the office when you've got four presidents sitting behind you and you're talking about carnage?
The picture he presented is the picture that's been being presented while he was running. So I don't see any difference there. It is a mixed-up country. We are separated more than we've been in many, many, many years. We are at heads, so to say. His whole mission is always communicated very, very simple and very, plain to understand. But what's actually happening is much more complex.
It's much more complicated.
Right. It wasn't the place to talk about Democrats and Republicans. It was a place to talk about the people. And he focused on the people, we the people, together, us.
Does he have enough power behind him in Washington right now to get his agenda pushed through?
I think he does, and if he doesn't, he will get it. He's a man who gets what he wants by navigating and maneuvering to get what he wants. And I think he's smart enough, and he's bringing the right people in, go-getters, get-her-dones kind of guys that will kind of come in and make it happen.
Do you see NATO, the United States, and Russia, all three working together against Islamic State in Syria and Iraq?
I can see it happening. It's sort of happening right now, isn't it? Everyone's there. They're just not working together. It takes someone to stand up and say, okay, enough. Let's do this way. And it sounds to me like President Trump is heading in that direction. Es geht darum, des amerikanischen Volks zurückzugeben, wonach die verlangen. Und das ist ein Job, die genug bezahlt, um ein Leben zu führen und Selbstrespekt.
Glauben Sie, die Wirtschaft und auch die Außenpolitik lässt sich mit dieser Art von Deals lösen?
Dann würden die einen Weg finden, das zu machen. Das ist meine Meinung. Und Präsident Trump weiß das. Der ist ja ein Geschäftsmann. Da kommt er ja her. Also muss er ja wissen. Es ist schade, dass man nach die Probleme sucht und nicht nach die Lösungen und nicht nach die Gemeinsamkeiten. As a veteran, it rings true to me what he spoke about the patriot blood. We live that credo. And it's not nationalistic. It's patriotic. It can happen. It can be. And that's the hope that we have to keep within us.